Welcome to Home Biz Tax Talk. My name is Lysandra Everett. I am the Home Biz Tax Lady, where I help home business owners win the tax game. Home Biz Tax Talk airs Monday through Friday, 9 o'clock-ish. And when you tune into my show, you're going to hear about topics that are important to the home business community. Okay, so today's elephant in the room is for the e-commerce online retailer squad. All right, so just yesterday, June 21st, on my birthday, they really had to do me like that. The Supreme Court released its decision in the landmark case of South Dakota versus Wayfair. All right. So let's talk about the decision, and then I'll give you the history of how this came to be. So the Supreme Court ruled that that the states had the ability to require online retailers to collect sales tax regardless of whether or not they had a nexus in that state, a sales tax nexus. Nexus is a physical presence, okay? So the ruling of South Dakota versus Wayfair basically says that that physical presence is not required for a state to require an online retailer to collect sales tax. So let's go back a little bit. What was happening before? So before in the Quill decision, that's what it's called. I forgot, it's Quill versus whoever. But what that said is that as long as the only connection between a retailer and a state was that someone was purchasing, then there was no requirement to collect sales tax. So as retail grew, as online retailers grew, you have Amazon, you have a whole bunch of retailers that were selling online. So because of that, of the Quill decision, there was no sales tax being collected. But what did that do? That caused a lot of brick and mortar retailers in specific states to lose business because people could go online, buy cheaper, and not have to pay sales tax. So that caused sales tax revenue to go down. Now, what South Dakota did in 2016 is that they changed their law to say that they were requiring online retailers, regardless of nexus, regardless of whether or not they had a physical presence, to collect sales tax. Then they turned around and sued Wayfair, Newegg, who else? And I want to say it was Overstock, but it was just a whole slew of e-commerce retailers who were not collecting South Dakota sales tax. And this was if they made more than 100,000 gross sales in the state in the calendar year, or 200 individual sales. Okay. So South Dakota changed their laws, turned around, and then sued Wayfair and these other online retailers that were not collecting South Dakota sales tax. So now that they have made this decision, that means that states can require online retailers to collect sales tax regardless of the whole Nexus thing. Now, Nexus became a big conversation with Amazon FBA, fulfillment by Amazon. This is where people would purchase products, send them into Amazon, and then Amazon would handle the rest of the logistics. The problem is that when you send stuff to Amazon, and I am an Amazon FBA seller, okay? So they have your stuff all over the place. Like my products ended up in New Jersey, Virginia. I had stuff that wound up getting sent to California, because when you send your products into Amazon, you don't get to say where your stuff gets housed. They tell you where to send it, okay? So states basically said that if you have a physical presence, which means if your inventory was sitting in their state, then you had a nexus and you were required to collect sales tax. That sent a wave through the Amazon FBA seller community, period, because again, you had no control over where your stuff is if it just got sent there. So you couldn't just say, well, I only want my product housed in New Jersey, and I only have to deal with one state. No, they send you stuff all over the joint. All right. So that created an issue of its own. But now we are in an entirely different space, because it's no longer about nexus. It's, are you making sales in that particular state? Now, most people think e-commerce, sellers as, Shopify, eBay, Amazon, that type of thing. However, okay, online retailers are for those of us that have digital products as well. Okay. So if you sell ebooks and that kind of, whether it's, videos or what have you, this ruling pertains to that as well, because there are states that tax digital products. There are some that don't, but there are a lot of them that do. So if you are in a state that doesn't tax digital products, but you sell to someone in a state that does, then you have to collect sales tax. So, a lot of times we don't think about that. We think about just the physical products, but this also affects digital products as well. So you can't just say because it's not a physical product that I don't owe sales tax. Because of this ruling, now digital products are going to be are going to apply. This is going to apply to digital products as well. So if you're selling a video series and, and you sell it to somebody in all 48 contiguous states, Alaska and Hawaii, then you are liable for collecting sales tax and remitting sales tax. And every state is different. So you have to know if that particular state requires you to collect and remit sales tax. And then, how often you have to pay sales tax, it depends on the amount that you owe. A lot of the states that I reviewed, if you owe $0 to $100, then you pay sales tax quarterly. If you owe more than $100, like $100 and a penny or more, then you have to pay sales tax monthly. And even if you owe no sales tax, some states require you to file a no sales tax due form. So you still have to file something. So, and again, I can't tell you, okay, this is what's blanket to do, because every state is different. We got 50 of these United States. Every state is different. So they have different forms. They have different requirements. They even have different tax amounts for different types of products. So for instance, I think it's Connecticut, where I think they have a 7% sales tax, but if it's a digital product, then it's only 1% sales tax. So you have to know like how much to collect so you can pay the right amount, no more than you are legally required to. So what does this mean? Big picture, get help. Okay. I'm going to add a link to a couple of places for you to check out to help you with your sales tax, because this is something that's affecting me as well. Generally, service-based businesses do not have sales tax. If you are providing a service, you don't have to collect sales tax. However, those products though, those extra products that you sell, those accessory products, that's taxable. My digital products is going to be taxable in some states. So I have to be sales tax compliant as well. And for my foreign people, for my people that live in, outside of the United States, but you sell in the United States, you have to be sales tax compliant as well. So there's one place I recommend for continental United States, TaxJar. I have a link for them and I'll put that in the comments. And if you are outside of the United States, I recommend checking out Avalara. I'll put their link in the comments as well. But the point is this, even though the states right now are starting out with the bigger fish, they're really starting out with the larger retailers like Amazon, Wayfair, Newegg, Overstock, those big corporations. That's where they're starting, but that's not where they're staying. Okay. Because even with online retailers, you can, we got 6-figure online retailers that are selling stuff all over the place. But now it's going to be, are ultimately responsible for collecting and remitting sales tax. Now, it is my understanding that Amazon is collecting sales tax on your behalf, which I think is great. I don't know if Shopify is doing that. I don't believe eBay is doing that, because eBay is like, go for what you know, right? But like I said, even if you sell your own products on your website, this applies to you as well. And I want to make sure that's clear to make you understand that it's not just the big retailers that this law applies to. It's for the little itty bitty people as well, that you have to, abide by the sales tax rules, or you will find yourself in trouble with some states, and they will come for you. Okay. Please trust and believe. All right. So now it's time to evaluate your business, okay? Because the last thing that you want is to wind up getting a letter from a state saying, hey, you owe us and you didn't pay us. That's the last thing you want. So you definitely want to, I think what this is going to do, it's gonna make people figure out if they're really in this to make money, or if they're just kind of trying to mess around. Because people who are out here to make money, they're going to do the things like, go ahead and find out how this really applies to them. They're going to purchase the services to help deal with the sales tax issue. No, Lysandra does not do sales tax. That's why I'm giving y'all the services that I'm checking out, and that for you all to do the same. But it's gonna require you to evaluate your business. It's going to it's going to separate who's going to be in business and really be in business, and those that are just trying to dip their toe. Okay, because this is nothing to play around with. All right. So, so that's what I recommend. I'm going to put those resources in the comments. And for those that are watching this replay, that are on YouTube, I'm going to put that in the description as well. But do not wait until you get letters to decide to check out these services. You need to be doing that now, because there is no way that you can really boss out in your business and be trying to figure out which states to file sales tax in, and which states that no. You don't have time for that. Invest in the service to help you grow, leverage their expertise to grow your business. That is what I will tell you. So just like you leverage me on the income tax side and business and all of that, leverage other people in their zone of genius. Okay, yeah, no, Lysandra does not do sales tax. That is no. All right. So I really hope this helps you out. Listen, but let me also say this before I go. This is nothing to cause fear, okay? A lot of people are like, oh my gosh, am I going to be able to stay in business because now this whole sales tax thing? No, this is not something to cause fear. This is something for you to evaluate your business and the services that you need. It is time for you to look at your customer base. Are you really selling in one particular area of the country? Whatever that is. Do you need a reseller certificate in whatever particular state? There's a lot of things that you need to review for your home state, as well as in other states that you might be selling in. There might be some people who will decide that, you know what, I'm only going to sell in XYZ states. If you don't live in these states, you can't buy from me. I think that would be crazy, but there will be some people that do that. So it's really all going to be a mindset thing for you. It's like, are you really trying to boss out and sell all over the place? Or are you trying to shrink so that you don't have to fool with this? And listen, I say leverage some services, go boss out, because you can go and make the money to cover these services, and you go on about your business. Okay. So that's it for me, you guys. So thank you guys so much for tuning into Home Biz Tax Talk. Again, we're here Monday through Friday, 9 o'clock-ish, and you can come here to get your questions about your home business taxes. All right. Have a great day, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye.